Gravel bikes have taken the cycling world by storm, combining the thrill of off-road trails with the speed of road cycling. But what if you could convert your road bike into a gravel bike? Is it even possible? And if it is it worth the effort? Today we'll answer those questions and take you step by step through the process of turning your road bike into a gravel-ready machine. But before we dive in, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you never miss out any of our upcoming content. Well, first things first. Yes, you can turn your road bike into a gravel bike. However, it has to be the right type of road bike. If your bike has minimal tire clearance or rim brakes, it's going to be tough, maybe even impossible. But if you've got enough clearance for wider tires and ideally disc brakes, then you're in luck. But what exactly makes a gravel bike a gravel bike? Well, gravel bikes usually come with wider tires for better traction, a more relaxed geometry for added comfort, and disc brakes that offer reliable stopping power in all conditions. Many gravel bikes also have flared handlebars for extra control on technical trails, although some still come with classic road bike drop bars. And finally, gravel bikes have lower gearing to handle steep, loose climbs. While road bikes often use a 2x setup for more gear options, many gravel riders prefer the simplicity and efficiency of a 1x setup. So, how do you convert your road bike into a gravel bike? Essentially, there are three key areas you can modify: the wheels and tires, the handlebar and stem, and the gearing. Let's walk through each of them step by step. One of the most noticeable upgrades you can make to your bike is changing the tires. This can have a huge impact on performance, especially when transitioning from road to gravel. Gravel bikes run on wider tires, typically between 35 and 52C. That's because, generally speaking, the wider the tire, the better the traction and comfort. And since you'll be riding on rough terrain with your gravel bike, that extra comfort and traction will make a big difference. So remove your current tires and swap out those narrow road tires for chunkier gravel tires. If you are unsure about the widest tires that can fit your frame, check the manufacturer's website or the datasheet that came with your bike. If you don't have access to those, just make sure there's enough clearance, about 5mm on each side of the chainstays and fork, to avoid any issues. If you're working with a disc brake bike, you might even switch to smaller 650B wheels, which have a smaller diameter, meaning you can fit a larger tire into it. Once you've got the new tires on, it's time to lower the pressure. Gravel tires perform better with less air than road tires, which helps give you more grip on rough terrain. While you're at it, you might want to think about switching to a tubeless setup, if your wheels are tubeless ready. If your wheels aren't tubeless ready, you can technically convert any wheel set to tubeless, but it's best to get help for that from your trusted bike shop to ensure it's done correctly. Tubeless tires let you run even lower pressures and they reduce the risk of punctures. Of course, the whole to go tubeless or not debate is a big topic on its own, but it's definitely worth considering for your gravel conversion. Next, let's talk about the handlebars. Flared handlebars are a key feature of gravel bikes because they give you better control on rough trails. Those handlebars feature outward angled drops to offer extra stability. Remove your current handlebars and swap them for flared bars. While you're at it, you might want to shorten your stem because this will give you a more upright, relaxed position, which is great for long rides and tackling unpredictable terrain. Of course, this is only possible if you don't have an Aero one-piece handlebar, but if you have that, then you are most likely not into converting your road bike into a gravel bike. Once that is done, make sure your shifters are reinstalled, cables are tight and everything's secure. You'll definitely notice a difference in how the bike handles. It's going to feel much more responsive. Now for the gearing. Gravel bikes have lower gearing to keep with those steep, loose climbs. If your road bike uses a 1x setup, it's easy. Just swap out your chainring for a smaller one. If you've got a 2x system, you can replace your chainrings with gravel or cyclocross rings. You can also switch from a 1x setup to a 2x setup, but to do that, you'll need to replace the entire group set, which can get a bit more expensive. You might also want to switch out your cassette for one with larger cogs. giving you those easier gears for climbing. Once your new gearing is in place, make sure your chain is the right length. If you're going through all this work, you might as well replace the chain too. For info, 1x versus 2x, check out this video. Well, just because it's possible to convert your road bike into a gravel bike doesn't necessarily mean you should. Let's take a look at some pros and cons to help you decide. On the plus side, it's cost effective. You're using a bike you already own and just swapping out a few parts, so you save money. Plus, if it's a bike you're familiar with, you'll already know how it handles, just with a new twist for gravel riding. If you want to save even more money while converting your road bike into a gravel bike, check out our website bicycle.com. We offer a secure marketplace not only for pre-owned bikes but also for components. But there are limitations. Your road bike will never have the same tire clearance or geometry as a true gravel bike, so it won't perform exactly the same. And durability can be an issue. Road bikes aren't built to take the same hits that gravel bikes can. So, should you make the conversion? Well, that depends on your goals. If you love tinkering with bikes and want a fun project, go for it. But if you're just itching to hit the gravel trails and don't want to deal with the hassle, it might make more sense to sell your road bike and invest in a dedicated gravel bike. Or you could keep your road bike and add a gravel bike to the mix. Because let's be honest, the perfect number of bikes to own is always the one you already have, plus one. As a conclusion, converting a road bike into a gravel bike is totally possible. It's not perfect, but it can be a great way to get into gravel riding without breaking the bank. And who knows, you might even enjoy the process of building a bike that's custom tailored to your adventures. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you're planning your own road to gravel conversion or if you already have experiences on custom tailoring your own bike. I'd love to hear your opinion and experiences down in the comments below. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time. Catch you on the roads.